Terraria's INFERNUM mod at 1 health, where bosses are nightmares reborn. After defeating the Moon Lord, we're diving into an even more brutal challenge. In gearing up for the impending doom, we've beefed up our arsenal. First, a destroyer emblem to fill out our last accessory slot, then a quick detour to the underworld.
Welcome to the underground!
Quite the hospitality, eh? We didn't just come for the friendly locals though. Snatched some Unholy essence and bagged a sanctified spark sentry, because the only thing better than summons is more summons. We crafted the profane shard and upgraded to the elemental axe, leaving our Terra Prisma in the dust. With our toolkit looking more like a demigod's armory, it was already time. The underworld beckoned again, but this time to the profane garden, a place that's less welcome and more enter if you dare. With its eerie glow and foreboding silence, it's here that we'll fight the profane guardians. So here's the deal. In the regular realm of Calamity, the Profane Guardians are practically a walk in the park. But in INFERNUM, it's less of a walk and more of a frantic sprint with these 3 nightmares on your tail. Turns out my weapon of choice had to go under the microscope. After some heavy contemplation, the Astral Defeat won the lottery. And yeah, that's the name. No mispronunciations. This bow might have the accuracy of me throwing darts blindfolded, but get up close, and it's like bringing a cannon to a knife fight. Yet something was missing. Glancing over my accessories, it hit me. The counter scarf, which is not making the cut. Its one-time dodge was useful, but it was more of a crutch. And my refusal to swap it out was practically a crime against gaming. It's time to switch it up. Let's talk dashes, or the lack thereof. With the default dash feeling just right, I ditched the idea of a shield dash in favor of accessorizing for success. Maybe the Stalker's Quiver for that arrow speed and punch? Or the Soaring Insignia for when you need to zip through the air like you're late for an appointment. But I settled for the Celestial Shell, because sometimes you just need the good old reliable to pull you through. We're going dashless. The Guardians, they come at you in a very specific pecking order. First, the Healer Guardian, because apparently my favorite hobby is turning battlefield medics into history. Once it's down, the Defender and Commander try to turn you into a Terrarian sandwich with the most synchronized chest bumps you've ever seen. Knock out the Defender, and the Commander goes berserk. But alone, it's just a matter of time before it fizzles out. Having dispatched our trio of not-so-friendly neighborhood guardians, we are now proud owners of the Profane Core. This little trinket unlocks the gates to the Profane Temple, and the real big baddie. But hold up, we need a gear check. The Astral Defeat was a champ up close, but Providence? She's more elusive than a politician's promise, zipping around like she owns the place. We need precision, we need finesse. Enter the Clockwork Bow. This beauty lets you load up 6 homing arrows that seek out their target like it owes them money, dealing damage in the thousands. Perfect for a firefly like Providence. Time to douse the Profane Flame. Facing Providence is less a battle and more an exercise in masochism. A wall of fire, lasers, and disdain staring you down. But it's also when I had my eureka moment with the recon scope, a solid 10% bump to damage and critical strike chance? Yes please. Who needs to dash when you're packing this kind of heat? And let's talk strategy. The Vortex Armor stealth mode became my best friend. Sure, it turns you into a snail, but the trade-off? Your ranged attacks hit like a freight train. And since dashing is so last season for us, staying stealth was all on the plan. Just when you think you're making a dent, Providence calls in her fan club. Yeah, the Guardians we just put to rest. Talk about clingy. At 70% health, the gloves come off, Providence cocoons up, and it's fireball dodgeball time. Normally attacks tickle her in this state, but the clockwork bow, it laughs in the face of her defenses, chipping away with respect-worthy damage. Then, as Providence throws her kitchen sink of attacks at us, it's our cue to go all in, play it smart, and the flame fizzles out. Wave goodbye to the goddess of demise. We've just unlocked the toy store. Yuli Bloom ore is on the menu. Time for some crafting magic to whip up new weapons and the Terragorn armor. A step up from our Vortex armor? Well, in a world where defense and regen could actually save me, sure, but we're living on the edge of with 1 health, where Vortex's raw damage boost reigns supreme. Then there is the Elysian Aegis, a shield with a dash so mighty it could probably leap buildings in a single bound, but we're gonna just set that aside for now. Yeah, let's do that. Weapon-wise, I got crafted with the heavy laser rifle and the disseminator. Solid choices, but next to the clockwork bow, they're basically bringing a knife to a bow fight. So with their upgrades feeling more like side grades, we set off to face the 3 Sentinels, experts in the art of teaching me humility. First stop, the skies, for a dance with the Stormweaver. This thunder-loving worm turned out to be the easiest of the trio. Its moves are like an open book. If you're actually paying attention, even without a dash, we wove through its attacks like it was nothing, making this high-speed fight a showcase of foresight and agility. With 1 Sentinel down and my pride somewhat intact, we snagged 2 shiny new toys. The Storm Dragoon, spitting out bullets like there's no tomorrow, and the Storm, a bow that makes meteor showers look like drizzle. The Storm Dragoon and I have become best friends, and as we step indoors to challenge the ceaseless void, it's clear that this gun's time to shine has come. Meet the Ceaseless Void, or as I like to call it, the Cheeseless Void, a bullet hell experience that turns the traditional camera focus on its head, centering on the boss and making the fight a visual spectacle of chaos. This battle was a marathon of spam innovation, testing my limits and patience across what felt like 1,000 lifetimes, or to be exact, 800 plus attempts. The takeaway? Stubbornness can often trump skill. Honestly, I'd love to have both, but you can't have it all. Victory over the Ceaseless Void was a gateway to the Void concentration staff. This summoning powerhouse might hug all your minion slots, but with its ability to hurl darkness itself at foes, it's a trade-off I'm willing to make for that sweet, sweet damage output. Having decimated the first 2 Sentinels, it's time to descend into the underworld for the final showdown. But first, a bit of redecorating was in order. Employing a few city busters, I crafted a battle arena that's less like a cozy living room and more like a monstrously huge empty rectangle. A simple platform in the middle, and voila, we are battle ready. Enter Cygnus, the ninja of the underworld. Quick, elusive, and lethal, yet surprisingly fragile. Remind you of anyone? This battle is a test of reflexes and precision, demanding top-tier movement to avoid being diced up for the underworld's next meat sale. Just when you think you've got a handle on things, Cygnus pulls a classic ninja move, summoning a shadow clone to double the confusion. Keep your eyes on the prize though, and the shadowy figure will soon fade into oblivion. All 3 Sentinels lie defeated. We stand on the brink of facing one of the most daunting challenges yet. But we're not through just yet. Cygnus' downfall laid the groundwork for a rather unique creation. Enter the 7th Striker, a dream come true for any gambler with a penchant for destruction. This baby fires coins instead of bullets, turning your financial irresponsibility into raw power. The rarer the coin, the heftier the damage. Unleash platinum coins and you're hitting the damage jackpot. As tempting as it is, I'll keep this ace up my sleeve sparingly. The high stakes of coin consumption mean it's a luxury, not a staple. Next up, a detour to the jungle. It's time to call up an old friend, the Dragon Folly. With some exotic pheromones, we beckon this feathery terror into the spotlight. You see, the Dragon Folly was meant to be a footnote in our journey, faced even before daring to challenge Providence. But who's keeping track, right? Certainly not me. For this aerial tango, I discovered a new trick up my sleeve. The Recon Scope's zoom out feature. Turns out keeping an eye on this hyperactive bird from afar is quite handy. Despite its reputation, the Dragon Folly didn't live up to the hype. Probably because we were supposed to have this dance-off much earlier. But better late than never. In the aftermath, the Dragon Folly dropped some interesting loot, like the Golden Eagle and the Dynamo Stem Cells. But by this point, there were more novelties than upgrades. But then there was the Freedom Star. It starts off innocently enough, spitting out energy orbs, but give it a moment to charge, and it unleashes a beam of pure devastation. Post-Cygnus, our quest for might takes a nostalgic turn back to the dungeon, where I reunite with the ceaseless Void. Still chained up, still voidy. Long time no see, buddy. Remember when you mercilessly obliterated me 800 times? Good times. But as we were about to break out the party hats, the Polterghast, or as I've affectionately dubbed it, the Ectoplasmic Enforcer, decides it's feeling left out and crashes our reunion. This fight turned out to be a masterclass in unpredictability, with attack patterns that had me wishing for a ghostly Rosetta Stone. I can already hear the chorus of you yelling, "Just use a shield dash like a normal person, you horrendous little goblin!" But the dainty dashes provided by my non-shield setup turned out to be quite a positive, helping me weave through death more elegantly than I anticipated. In a world where INFERNUM turns the air into a lethal ballet of projectiles, sometimes less is more. Plus, who would pass up on the opportunity for that sweet, oversized damage? And as the battle with the Polterghast dragged on, proving to be as relentless as my stubborn refusal to use a shield dash, I stumbled upon Calamity's unique solution to life's more insurmountable problems. What do you do when you're concerned, wherein every strategy feels like you're banging your head against the wall? According to the sages over at Calamity Mod, you turn to alcohol. So I brewed up a batch of Fapsol's vodka, not just for the kick, but also to catch the eye of the drunk princess. She is a connoisseur of fine spirits, apparently a keen observer of my many failures. These potent brews come with their trade-offs: more damage for less defense, more crits for less regeneration, a risky play that's practically a motto on this run. Who cares about defense when you're living on the edge with 1 health, right? Well, turns out indulging in too much of a good thing can lead to negative life regeneration. Who knew? In a desperate bid to sober up from this unintended hardcore mode, I scrambled for regeneration potions, campfires, and heart lanterns. Because even in a 1 health run, health regeneration is ironically still a priority. Armed with newfound respect for the delicate balance of Calamity's alchemy and a slight hangover, I was ready. The Polterghast, the ectoplasmic enforcer, awaited. With the dubious courage only a bunch of fantasy alcoholic beverages could provide, back into the fray. Bring it on, Polterghast! With the power of alcoholism on my side, what could possibly go wrong? And down goes the ectoplasmic enforcer, leaving behind a treasure trove of power. Among the spoils, this bow is a whole statement, effortlessly dishing out over 20,000 DPS against a mere training dummy. But that's not all. We also secured the Ecto Heart, supercharging our adrenaline mode to levels of power that border on the absurd. We are a force to be reckoned with. And as we stand at the precipice of our next great challenge, it's time for a brief respite. It's your support that's carried us through. For those of you who've been with us for every single step of the way, thank you. If you've enjoyed this roller coaster of a run and crave more absurd challenges, consider subscribing. And for those who wish to dive deeper into this madness, our Discord awaits. Find the link below. As always, keep your health above mind and stay safe. See you next time.